because it's not a self.
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ Good evening, friend in Dhamma. Good evening, Panyavajiro.
Good evening, Ajahn.
Yes. Well, today we are again, yeah? And last time we have the program on friend in Dhamma, and we were in different places, different country, and then we come to use the Zoom and easy, and now it's easier when we use StreamYard. Yeah. Today,
seems like it.
Yeah. Today is Saturday, 26th, yeah, of June. Yeah.
Yes.
So what about tomorrow? What we plan to do tomorrow? You know anything about what we are doing?
Yes, I think. We are ordaining
the monk.
Novice, aren't we?
Yes.
As a monk.
Yes.
Yes. Martin.
Yes, Martin going to become monk tomorrow.
Yes.
And I'm
going to lose my place as the only English monk in the temple. I'm very upset.
Well, we got more to come, I think. I think don't you think you more to come to?
That's quite possible. Yes.
When you become a monk now,คุณหน่อย born, you say from
you made me jump.
Look.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening,คุณหน่อย born from Primat. She been working very hard, yeah.
I saw
for the temple in Primat. May I ask you a little bit about the Primat temple before we go further about friend Dhamma?
Oh dear.
Because we rely on you. But what exactly?
I have two operations with two separate councils.
Right.
And they're both in exactly the same position.
What do you mean?
In other words, everything is at the council's offices or their solicitors.
Right.
And I can do nothing until they get back to me.
I see.
I email them.
Right.
I phone them and get no reply. COVID. And I just got to wait. Next week, I am staying here rather than going anywhere else.
Right.
And trying to make something happen.
Right.
Both places.
Okay.
So I can do no more. It's ready. I've agreed the license with the solicitors. I've agreed the license for the car park. It's not exactly what I want, but I won't get what I want. I've agreed the lease and the terms of the lease with the council and the landlord in the council. It's not exactly what I want, but it's the best I can do.
What can we do then?
So all I can do, wait. I'm speaking to the solicitor, our solicitor, tomorrow. She's going to call me when she's free.
Right.
That's Sunday. And hopefully they will have everything that they've complained about on Monday.
Right.
But don't forget, it's very easy to put all of the problems in my area and not pretend you haven't got any of your own. So the council will try every trick in the book to lengthen this thing. I've agreed everything. It's up to them now to say, here you are. Yes?
Right.
In both places. It's nothing more I can do. It's very frustrating.
Right.
Especially as Vasa is coming very quickly.
Vasa in the rainy season is coming soon.
Yes.
So you there kun Noi and the friends and member the temple in Primat, they are waiting for us to talk about that.
I and you are waiting as well. We're not happy about it.
Yes. I don't like to push you too much about this, but
I'm pushing. That, and I'm not happy about the situation, but I've just told you I've got two identical situations in completely different councils.
Okay.
And I've got exactly the same problem.
Okay. Well, for tomorrow, we're going to have new monk, Eden young monk, and then Martin, and he going to become a monk. And we expect more monks from Thailand as well, this Vasa. And if we, at the moment, we have got the monks, that's not enough for the rainy season. But in the meantime, we are going to have more monks, yeah. So hopefully another 2 English monks by the end of this month before the Vasa start.
Yes.
Which means we don't have so and so, including Pramaha Pira, which we expect him to be in Plymouth. But if he can't have the Plymouth temple, but I expect for 6 months from Thailand, we're going to put them in.
Oh.
Yeah, we have no monks, and then we were traveler, and then we expect to be more because monks come from Thailand to be divide or share to be in the other temple like Wolverhampton and somewhere else, and maybe Scotland or maybe in the Plymouth, and then but now we don't have
all or nothing.
Yeah,
can't win.
Yeah. Well, today we come a bit late, but we also haven't talked for a long time, didn't we? When we last time we talked about things friendly Dhamma.
I don't remember the date.
But
I remember the problems I was having.
What is that?
Children problems.
I see. Yes, last time we talked.
Slightly difficult to think clearly when you have children.
Yes.
Doing whatever.
Grandchildren that you look after them in Poland. Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me briefly about your experience in Poland. Did you see any temple around you? And
yes,
when you stay with your son and grandson?
I discovered a Zen temple, a Zen Buddhist temple.
In where?
Not far from me. Don't ask me the name.
And what a Chinese or Zen?
No, Vietnamese.
Oh, Vietnamese.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Vietnamese. Yes.
How far from your house?
Probably only 3 miles.
Oh, not that bad then. Yeah.
No.
Mm.
No.
And what did they there? How many monks there? Any monks?
The 3 that I saw, but I don't know how many in total.
And what type of robe they wear? Just like you, when you go like that, they recognize you as Buddhist monk.
Yes.
And now what they say? What they see?
No, they're speaking to me in Polish. They don't speak English. Polish and Vietnamese doesn't mix.
Yeah. And,
not so easy as you think.
Yeah. And how you feel about that?
Well, if I'm in Poland for any length of time, I will revisit.
Right.
Just out of curiosity.
But would they talk to you and then they
try to talk to me? Yeah.
So none of them.
They're very friendly.
Yes.
Very friendly indeed.
Right.
There was no rejection.
No.
They were very friendly. They were really surprised that this Polish-looking monk,
yes,
was a monk. And then when they discovered I'm an English monk, then that seemed to be some sort of excuse.
Really?
Apparently the English are a little crazy.
In
from what I can see. Anyway.
Really? I see. Well, you see today, what you like to discuss today, because I said friend in Dhamma and we discussed on Anattalakkhana Sutta, didn't we? So can you say anything about that? Because we not fighting, we disagree or ask a question each other. What you asked me the other day, and then I said, well, we can do it next time. And then today is now maybe the right time to talk about it.
This is the talk that the Buddha gave to 5 monks.
Yes.
And it's a very important talk, actually, because apparently, I don't know for sure, but this is what is written. This is the first discourse, this first talk, when all of the monks became arahant.
Oh, yes, that's right.
That would make it important, Ajahn.
That is very important. Why when after this monk, they become achieve enlightenment by listening to this talk, discussion?
Yes, it just means that the content of the talk, what is in the talk, is important enough to make a person change into arahant when the Buddha tells it, of course, not when I. Why do you have a cat behind your computer?
Where?
Or maybe it's something else.
No, it's no cat, nothing. Because of the screen doesn't work.
I think it's a cat.
It is not cat here, and you know what your on your head is like a crown. Your head like a crown because we are. It meant to be only one person for this room.
Yes.
And then we take over with 2 people.
Good grief.
Okay. I see.
I agree. It is
It's
not a
not
cat. Okay. Well, it's a meerkat.
I see. All right. Okay. I didn't see that behind the computer. Well, you know the Anattalakkhana Sutta, yeah, is the translation as the characteristic
Yes.
of not self.
Not self. Not non-self. Not self.
Not self.
That's right. So
not self.
Very important. Otherwise, these 5
is not self.
Monks would not have become arahants. So it must be a very important thing.
Well, look at the solo introduction. Yeah, solo introduction first before the own being should take.
I've not read that.
Own being should take pain to understand the characteristic of not self, which provides matchless deliverance from. Yeah.
All beings should take pains to understand the characteristic of not self,
right,
which provides matchless deliverance from self-view and self-perception, as taught by the Supreme Buddha.
Right.
This teaching is given so that those who meditate on experienceable realities may arrive at a perfect comprehension. It is for the development of perfect understanding of these phenomena and for the investigation of all defiled mind moments. The consequence of this practice is total deliverance. So, desirous of bringing this teaching forth with its great benefit, let us now recite the sutta.
Yes.
Okay, so that just goes to show how important.
Yes, so the one monk we call solo introduction.
Yeah.
And when the monk introduced this chanting, so how much it's quite important. And in the detail of the sutta, can you tell me briefly where the place where the Buddha gave this talk? I think in the deer park, yeah.
Yeah, Varanasi.
In the Varanasi, yeah.
Working on that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I found a shortened version.
Right.
Very modern one.
Right.
So I have heard that on one occasion, the Blessed One was staying near Varanasi in the deer park at Isipatana. There he addressed a group of 5 monks.
Mm-hmm.
Form, monks, is not self.
Right.
If form were the self, this form would not lend itself to disease. It would be possible to say, with regard to form, let my form be thus, let my form not be thus. But precisely because form is not self, this form lends itself to disease. And it is not possible to say, with regard to form, let my form be thus, let my form not be thus. In other words, you cannot change your shape with your will. Yeah?
What do you mean shape? Shape, it means being.
Well, the shape of your body, as it were.
Right.
This is your form is your body.
Okay.
You cannot change your body just at will. You cannot say, I want now to have 8 arms, etc. So I mean, that's perfectly correct. You cannot say it. And it also becomes ill, becomes diseased.
Yes.
And you cannot do anything about it except take medicine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to accept the reality of changing of it.
The reality is it's impermanent and it becomes old.
Yeah.
And withers away and whatever. So and that's quite solid. But then he goes on, and I picked this because it misses out all of that. This is just a repeat. Then he goes on to tell you that feeling is not self.
Right.
If feeling were self,
not,
you could
not
do
self.
something about it.
That's why. And at the beginning you discussed with this and did not agree. But now you can see the point now. It's not self. It's not non-self and not self. It's different, isn't it?
Non-self and not self,
right.
Very different.
Right.
So previously I had imagined that this sutta
is about non-self.
Non-self.
No, it's not self. It's not self.
That makes for a very interesting conversation.
Right.
But it's not to do with
not
that.
self. No.
No.
So it's not self because you cannot control.
You cannot control
yes.
the disease. You cannot control
your own age.
Your old age, your sickness. You cannot control its death.
Not, but it's impermanent.
It's impermanent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, he gets on to saying, and this is important here, because we think it is. Look, consciousness is not self. If consciousness were the self,
right,
this consciousness would not lend itself to disease.
Yes.
It would be possible to say, with regard to consciousness, let my consciousness be thus. Let my consciousness not be thus.
Right.
But precisely because consciousness is not self, consciousness lends itself to disease.
Right.
It is not possible to say, with regard to consciousness, let my consciousness be thus. Let my consciousness not be thus.
Okay.
And then he asked the monks, what do you think, monks? Is form constant or inconstant?
The monk has to say.
Well, they got to say it's inconstant.
That's right. So everything after they learn from the Buddha, and the Buddha asked to confirm by that monk
quite clearly. If one of the monks,
every single word have to say exactly what you understand.
Yes.
And then the monk say, "Oh, I agree." Every single question. So therefore, what the Buddha say after they said,
he's harping on about your happiness, your good peace of mind.
Right.
And then he goes, we've done, what do you think, monks? Is form constant or inconstant? Inconstant, Lord.
Right.
And is it fitting to regard what is inconstant, stressful, subject to change, as this is mine, this is not, this is myself, this is what I am?
Okay.
That's a question again.
Right.
Well, they say, oh, obviously, no, Lord. It's not fitting to regard what is inconstant, stressful, as being mine. It's not mine. It doesn't belong to me. I'm probably just inside it. I don't know. Anyway, they say, no, Lord. And then he goes on. Is feeling constant or inconstant? Inconstant, Lord. Is perception constant or inconstant? Inconstant, Lord. Are fabrications constant or inconstant? Inconstant, Lord. What does this mean? Is feeling constant or inconstant? Feeling changes, whether you like it or not. I mean, even the feeling of the touch, it changes.
Yes. So you learn from what the Buddha said to disciples about this the form and also the feeling. Yeah.
Yes, and your perceptions.
Yeah, perceptions.
What is that? It's when you see something or hear or feel or touch something, that you perceive it. That is your perception.
Right.
And is it constant or inconstant? Well, they're very definitely inconstant. Yes. Very
so
definitely.
when they say inconstant. So the monk understand that quite well and accept that.
Yes.
Yeah. When they accept that, what's going to happen to them?
Well, you also have to accept. You also have to consider consciousness.
Right.
This thing we think with.
Right. Okay.
He asked them too, is consciousness constant or inconstant?
Well,
they reply that it's inconstant.
Right.
And it is because it sometimes does just as it wants.
Okay.
It worries, it gets ill, it becomes anxious, it becomes fearful, it becomes happy, it becomes sad, it does, and you're subject to that. You can't control that.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
That is quite confirmed about the Buddha teaching, then they find disciples after all.
Yes.
They learn about everything. They know the impermanence.
Yeah.
And they even ask, what do you think about the form, permanence or impermanence? Yeah. Is it painful? Yeah, the pleasure or painful? Is it painful? Yeah, so then they ask even more. Buddha asked them more and more in detail. And then what happened? After that, they accept that, and then they realize that.
Well, it isn't just an acceptance, is it? It's an
understanding.
It follows logically,
right?
You know,
and then
he's not said, understand this.
No.
He said,
ask a question until you
well,
cannot
he
go any
says, you
further.
know, is it? Can you show me that it's constant? Can you show me that it never changes? Well, of course you can't, because it does, and he makes it clear by asking you properly.
Right. Okay. That's quite clear then.
Yes. And then he points out about your happiness levels, really. And is it fitting to regard what is inconstant, stressful, subject to change, as this is mine, this is myself, this is what I am? Well, is it fitting to regard it?
No.
No. And they answer, no, Lord.
Yeah.
So it's not mine.
Right.
It's not myself.
No.
It isn't even what I am.
No.
You know, it's just changes from this moment to the next. I am this now. Well, what will I be in an hour? You know, I could be very ill. I could have caught COVID.
Well, oh, don't say that.
Sorry, but you see, you have no control.
No,
or very little control.
We aware of everything. We be careful in everything, and in our daily life, we learn Buddha teaching, and we see all the Buddha teaching is meaningful for us, and we refer to what had happened to the early first Buddha disciples, which is we learn from the beginning of how they develop from ordinary monks turn to be enlightened person. Yeah, that's very good. And this sutta is very clear and firm.
Yes, it is firm.
It's clear and firm, but especially about in characteristic or changing or impermanence, which is we know. But you know, when in the impermanent thing, which it happened, do the people accept that? How I mean, in the reality, for example, when you look at your mirror, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you can't imagine, you know, I am 60 now, you are 78, and then 60, 78, you know, when you look at when you were young, I look back when the picture when I took when I was 14, 15, 20.
Oh dear, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, and I my picture, it looked like it was very good. Yeah, and now look, now it's so different because changing we didn't see.
No, we didn't see.
I see it. I saw it every day, but I didn't see it.
Oh, I'm afraid it's very.
Then how we can't see this changing in daily? Why?
It's like you don't really see your children growing because you're with them every moment.
Yes.
I got away from Poland because of this disease, and I go back a year later, and they've all gone boof, that much higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
no, they don't see it, but I do.
Yeah, we do, but not every moment.
Because you're with it, aren't you? You're living the life. You're looking at your face. You're changing your things all the time. You just get used to it. You get used to the new you, and it's not good. But you know, he's getting up to much more here. You know, when he says, "This is not mine. This is not myself. This is not what I am."
Right.
Okay. When he's saying that, surely he's trying to say, "Don't have too big an ego, you."
Ego.
Yes.
Why not ego?
Well, you know, where does selfishness come from? Where does greed come from?
Yes.
You know, I am special. And where does pride come from?
Yeah.
Where does quarreling come from?
Ego.
It does, certainly. I am so good, I know all of it.
Yes.
You know, and it causes troubles. And he's trying to sort of say, look here, there's more to this. And of course, to become an arahant, you've got to know the extra bits. A lot more than I can see, obviously. But yeah, so it's He's bringing out all sorts of things here.
Yeah.
By saying, realize this is not mine. This is not myself.
Mm.
He's bringing out all sorts of things, that being too proud of yourself.
Right.
Being too proud and pride in yourself. It's good up to a point, but too much of it,
not very good.
Bad thing. No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, if you see this teaching, the Buddha teaching, the first 5 monks achieve enlightenment, and it's mean a lot for ordinary people to concentrate and look at it closely, to apply to their life and see by their own wisdom. It can be very helpful.
Of course it can. Yeah. Of course. Why am I sitting here doing this?
Right.
It's for a good reason. Good, yeah. He goes on. This is nearly the end now, right, because it's not a long thing now.
No.
But he goes on. Any feeling whatsoever, any perception, any fabrication, any thought about it,
right,
any consciousness whatsoever that is past, future, or present, internal or external, blatant, perfectly obvious, or very subtle, common or sublime, far or near, every consciousness is to be seen with right discernment, as it has come to be. This is not mine. This is not myself. This is not what I am.
Right.
He's making it very clear that whether it's whatever time in your life you look at things, it's not what I am. And it says here, seeing thus, the instructed disciple of the noble ones grows disenchanted with form, disenchanted with feeling, disenchanted with perception.
Right.
How he goes on.
Okay.
With becoming disenchanted, he becomes dispassionate. Passion has come down, all the way down. Through dispassion, he is released. With release, there is the knowledge released. He discerns that birth is ended,
right,
the holy life fulfilled, the task done.
Right.
There is nothing further in this world. That is what the Blessed One said. Gratified, happy, the group of 5 monks delighted in the Blessed One's words.
Right.
And while this explanation was being given, the minds of the group of 5 monks, through lack of clinging,
right,
sustenance, were released from effluent, were released from all the bad things. They became arahants.
Right.
And that's the Sutta as written in just a few years, translated just a few years back.
Well, that's mean if the people who realize with their wisdom, with their practicing real, truly understanding about what the Buddha said at the beginning, and then can give up or no more clinging in there, as mean they have more or closer to enlightenment.
Well, it's correct. It's that things like this make me want to try harder.
Right.
They make me want to try to understand more thoroughly, better understand what the Buddha is trying to teach.
Right.
Simply because of their logic, of their real, you cannot argue.
No.
Yeah, there's nothing to argue against.
That's right. Yeah.
Is it permanent? No, Lord. Of course it isn't. So whether it be a car or you or me.
Right. Yeah. It's true.
So
true.
It's
I agree. We know that. we know that the teaching is so profound, the profound and everything. But then the number of the monks, number of the lay people after Buddha time, I don't know how many who achieve enlightenment, but we know that from time to time we know the monks who well practice and then who absolutely delighted in our society. That person might be close to the enlightenment.
Well, what about back in history? I mean, you're telling me that King Asoka didn't become enlightened?
Well, not really.
How do we know this?
We don't know that because
he changed so greatly.
No, we we have so many people who affirm to be enlightened person.
I don't think he said that.
But I mean somebody else. I mean,
well, they might have said it to other people. You know, when you're boasting,
right.
when you believe this is mine,
right,
this is myself,
right,
this is what I am.
right.
When you believe that, then you get this pride and you want to show off. Oh, I am enlightened.
Right.
I mean, being an Englishman, I'd probably kick him at the bottom.
Well, I don't know.
You see, but that means that, you know, I would doubt very much that someone that went around saying he's enlightened.
Right.
Well, there are people.
Right.
There are people. There are, especially, there are people that pretend to be enlightened in order to attract customers.
Right.
To them.
So, you know, you're pretending.
In reality, of course they are.
Why do you pretend to be?
Because
you're not.
If they were enlightened, they actually wouldn't need to ask people to come.
No.
People would come anyway. Yeah, you know, I mean, it wouldn't be a necessity to advertise on the news or wherever they advertise. Facebook, I am an enlightened blah blah, or he is an enlightened blah blah.
Yeah.
You know,
and
there'd be no need. There'd be no need at all. No need at all. So someone like King Asoka,
yes,
who literally changed India,
changed his life.
His life first, and then India afterwards.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, he's the sort of person who wouldn't boast.
Yeah,
he had no need to boast.
No,
he had everything.
Right.
Why boast?
Okay.
Why show my new car if I've got 20 in the garage?
Well, I understand.
There's no need to boast.
Yeah.
So it's I just wonder. Some people might be. How do we know?
Well, they might not be like that.
Yeah. I mean, on the moment of death, they might have been enlightened. Who's to know? If they work very hard towards enlightenment, it's a good chance that they know enough to actually achieve it.
Okay.
That's how I feel anyway. I mean, let's give people hope, because those who try very hard obviously come closer than someone who doesn't try at all.
Right. Well, come to our audience. There are two people ask two things for you. I mentioned the first one. They say, could you please send me list of the best literature for beginner into Buddhism? Can you consider? Because you know for well the Buddhist, there are many books anyway. So the list of these two current calling car. That is what you suggest them, at least what the Buddha taught. Can you say about few books? Well, what the Buddha taught, one, and the life of the Buddha, which is in two parts. Right. They are where I started. Right. That's where I sit on an airplane traveling from one part of the world right the way around to the other parts of the world. I sat and read those two. I wasn't interested. There was just something to do. But by gum, by the time I'd read the one, I intended to read the other. And for me, not for everyone, right? For me, it was a very good introduction into Buddhist thought. That's very good. A very good introduction. Right. For another person, however, it might be someone else's journey through Buddhism. Wow. You know, if you like reading novels, then there are people monks who have written about their journey through Buddhism. To me, I can't get on with those. I don't read novels, but you know, yes, that can be good. Yeah. Well, so quite a number of people. Who wrote which? Somebody Oli. Well, there was Rahula. Yeah. And the other one was someone Narada. Yes, another one. Yeah. And they're on Amazon or one of the bookstores. You can find them. And there are many. Current is quite a number of books in the temple here as well. Oh yes. Yeah, be quite good, and we might consider to give you some idea. That is from the first person who would like to know about Buddhism and the literature in Buddhism. And I suggest you, Karen, to look at the what we just say in the what the Buddha taught, and then the Buddhist meditation, plain Buddhism, and introduction in Buddhism, and even some part of the Buddha life, because Walpole, what the Buddha taught is available. Paula.
Yeah, Rahula.
Yeah, Rahula. Yeah.
Yeah. So what the Buddha taught is available on Amazon.
That is very good to read. That's the first part. And then if you learn that book first.
Paperback is £7.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, they do other ones at £12 and whatever. The 2000 edition, I don't think there's any difference.
Yeah,
the one I read is not available. Look, but because that's the picture.
Yeah, the same one. Yeah.
It's the same thing though.
Well, second question. Okay, the question is okay. Here, this from Colin.
Colin.
Yes.
The worker.
Bob.
On the car park. It's going to cost thousands of pounds to repair. It's so bad. Colin. Colin. Yeah. No, we're not taking it on, Colin. We are taking a license, which means that we can use it when we want to, but we're not responsible for it. I made very sure of that, Colin. Oh dear, you're so right.
Yes, that's been very, very good.
You're so right.
Goodness me. What do you mean? You just mean if you take it and you're not.
It's just a license to use it.
That's
so we have a right to a key and to use it as an extra car park if we want to. We're not responsible for it. We don't have to repair the tarmac or pull up those buddleia trees or basically anything.
Okay. Well, if you're going to use something, if you're not to repair, it's going to be not used. This is not good.
You can use it, of course you can. I park my car on there.
Well, I mean, if you hire something or borrow or rent or lease some places for a certain period, and it's going to be a place for you to use in the future, if you're not repair, the people look down upon you.
Well, they don't necessarily know that we can use it. There's a disabled person got use of it,
right?
Too.
Well, I just say that because I have to rely on your.
I'll have to check quickly, but I know jolly well that I would not have agreed to repair that. No way.
I see.
No way.
That's a very good, Colin, point. Your suggestion. Well. Today, because it's the first time, and I hardly to get Ven.Panyavajiro to be on the Zoom or on the StreamYard with me. Actually, we spend so much money on StreamYard, we never use it now because I think we're supposed to spend. I mean, we use it because it's very good program, isn't it? And I mean, most of them enjoy use Zoom, but I prefer StreamYard because our friend can share. Yeah, can share the opinion and all of this. Yeah. Because tomorrow we have the program and today we talk about discussion on the Anattalakkhana Sutta, which is more or less like impermanence and it's very good, and suffering, which is taught by the Buddha to the 5 disciples who after dawn achieve enlightenment from that. And it's very good for all of us to look at it in detail and how it can apply to our daily life to be able to achieve something, which is very important for the monks. And you said, I like to look at it closely, which is very good. Then you look at it closely, you can use every single saying, every single word of the Buddha to apply what X means, especially when he asks a Buddhist monk, it's a permanent or impermanent, suffering or pleasure, whatever that. He more and more.
Well, the original version, the longer version, goes into it more deeply.
Right.
And it's well worth, if you're that interested, it's well worth looking at it properly.
Right.
I mean, I go back to the fact that 5 monks became arahants after listening to this talk, this discourse, this sutta. You know, it's got to be good somewhere. So looking deeply at it makes you think more. But of course, not everyone wants to look that deeply, which is why I found a shortened one. You don't need to look so deeply. All you've got to do really is practice the moral code, practice Dhamma.
Yes.
You know, try and stick with the Eightfold Path as much as you can.
Yes.
And understand the real meaning of the word right.
Right.
There's a real meaning to that. That one's looking at some point. But it's working that way. Chanting, people come on and chant with us.
Yes.
This is a really powerful way of becoming involved with the Buddhist tradition.
I like to ask you as a European monk, after you've been a part of the temple for some time and also as a lay person, and you've seen a number of the European interest in Buddhism nowadays, how you feel. And then as a missionary monk myself, as you are, I must say it's still outsider, because you're not part of our the original, yeah. So, but you understand about Buddhism more than many
You mean
times.
I'm not Thai, therefore
No,
I'm an outsider?
No, outsider in the term of at the beginning of the monastic system. Now you are insider, and then insider, outsider, and then you see through all of these from the day one, and you see more English people turn to be part of our the routine thing, right? So what you look at this for your
There are more Westerners
right
becoming interested. Unfortunately, the vast majority are brought to us through meditation only.
right.
So meditation is getting a big name for itself. I'm not sure it deserves it, to be honest.
What does it mean?
Well, meditation is said to change your brain, the actual function, the actual works inside your brain. I have looked at certain brains. I do have access to an fMRI scanner in London. So I have looked, and if there is a difference, it's very, very minimal, very little difference.
What do you mean between what?
Between a non-meditator and a meditator.
No,
when you read it in the newspapers, it sounds a great deal. When you look at it in black, well, it isn't black and white, but when you look at it working, yeah, right, okay. What it really means to me, anyway, meditation definitely gives you the opportunity to better understand yourself within.
Right.
Better understand, and better understanding means you can actually understand what this sutta is saying.
Right. Okay.
This is not myself.
Okay. Well, the current, she got the idea. She have book, chanting book, and try to meditate.
There you go. You see, I have the chanting books, and I try to meditate.
Right.
I think trying to meditate. Look, let's start off. Chanting is a form of meditation anyway.
Right.
You think about it when you're chanting, you're a different person for a short while. Your mind is not thinking about the daily grind. Right. You're not worrying about I don't know, whatever it is you worry about, the electricity bill, like we do here, or the washing up, or whatever. Your mind is on the chanting. You're having to read it. You're having to say the words properly, which I don't very often. I very often make mistakes. But what I'm trying to say is a form of meditation because you're totally involved in the chanting if you're doing it properly. And do not have other thoughts coming into your mind if you're doing it properly. So it's a form of chanting, meditation.
Okay.
Meditation itself, trying to do it yourself, it's pretty good, really.
Okay.
It is pretty good. But in reality, once you get to a certain point, you need a meditation master who can help you move forward to the jhana.
Okay, that is a very good point.
What you do, you need to move forward. To get there at all is hard work.
Right. Okay.
You have to work hard with your mind while you're sitting. But when you think you're there, then it's the time to ask for a meditation master, someone who knows what they're doing,
right,
to help you move forward. I mean, there are ajahns here that do that. I mean, they do it all the time. Look at can I just go on a little while, just a minute?
Okay.
Look at this young man, Martin, that came here.
Right.
He came here basically confused, conflict between the world outside and his parents' wishes,
right,
and the monkhood,
right,
big conflict.
Right.
Now, so we can help because you don't have to be a monk forever.
Right.
You know, come along, try it, take what you need and give what you can to it.
Right.
both, you notice, take what you need and give what you can to it,
right,
and then make your decision.
and
If
then
you need to leave and do the computing like his father wants him to do, then go, because he's had a very great experience. And I've watched him. The difference between when he came here and when a month later, when I get back here,
right,
is a completely different person.
right, okay, that's
He's a different
interesting.
person. He's
That
much
means
more
improve,
calm. He's much more in control of himself. He's
understand
much
more.
more. Yes, he understands. That goes without saying. But him as a person, he has changed.
Right.
He's calmer. He's he thinks about other people.
Okay.
He thinks about the temple. He doesn't
Right.
just go, oh Lord, and bring me this, bring me that, or
No.
he does all the things that have to be done. We work as a team here.
Right. That's
And
very good.
everyone does something, whatever happens to be necessary, including cleaning the toilets. Who
Right.
cares?
Okay.
So he's changed into that sort of person. So it is time now for him to have a go and take the
robe,
yes, take the robes. Yes.
Well, that is good. From my
Are his parents coming?
Scotland.
Are they coming here? It's wrong way. Yeah. Okay.
Well, from my experience of involving with the English people, this year we quite happy to introduce or allow the English to become Buddhist monks for short term. Normally, for those who interested to become a monk, if in that the forest tradition, we allow them to become, you need to be trained very serious before you become a monk. But at a tradition, if you come to be on retreat as a novice or learn to be Anattalakkhana, and then after that, if you like to try to become a monk, visit the monk, agree you to become your ordination. When all of them are agree, so you are monk anyway. So that very good chance for you to learn a short the experience of become short term monks.
Yes,
Not long term, and you cannot be long term, because even the monks who are in our tradition been a monk for many years, and then they after sometimes they can't bear to be a monk, they leave. That is something that we accept in our society.
Well, I think you should do, because
yeah. So that is very good for our young generation if they would like to try to turn to be Anattalakkhana practice in the temple, and after that try to be a novice first and then become a monk.
Well, they'll become nicer people.
Right.
They'll have a better outlook on life and understand other people better and be more tolerant of other people.
Right.
They'll be different people, and we've seen it anyway with
yes,
the youngsters that
we've had here. Agree with that.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
today, why I think we better to finish, because I said I'm going to have 45 minutes talk today, and it's over. And I think next time we might see again in different theme of Buddhism. What we are going to talk about that, if it's okay with you. Yeah. So
I like speaking about it like this.
Yes.
This is much more interesting to me, because it's what I learned when I was taking those exams.
Right. Okay. That's very good. Then.
No.
We can go from that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, friends in the Dhamma. Thank you for all of you who are here. Yeah, Yada, Noina, yeah, Kun Karen, and Kasem Chandi Noi, Bon, yeah, Som Si, Desson, and Kun Kamai, Shomer, and E. Meddi, yeah, Arisena, yeah, it's very good. Yeah. Kun Sap and Kun Suchada from America, and Noi Bon and Colin Bon. It's very good that you are here today. And we just about to finish, and I wish to, if you wish to take part in our ordination, the monk for tomorrow is going to be on Facebook, but we won't be able to do on Zoom because we have to work hard. But for the offering the money tree in the afternoon, so it can be on Zoom. So in the morning it's no Zoom, but Facebook. But in the afternoon, after lunch, going to be offering the money tree to Switzerland on Zoom and also on Facebook as well. Yeah, tomorrow. So thank you again. May you be happy and free from suffering and receive the blessing from us. Abhivadana sile sanitang uttha pacayino cattaro dhamma vattanti ayuvanno sukhang phalang. Thank you very much.
Good night.